Welcome back. I'm Tonya from Tonya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? Talk about your dog days of summer. They've been doggy. They've been like every breed on the planet. Like these days have been crazy. But speaking of dogs, I don't know if I've talked about my dogs in a while. Maggie is our hanging tree dog, right? And Willow is our blue heeler slash not sure. She looks like a lab. She looks really like a lab. But anyway, she has grown. She has passed Maggie this summer, and she's the baby. Is she 6 months? Okay, no, she's not. She's like 4. She's huge, and she's gonna be huge. Okay, and her and Maggie are like children. They're polar opposites. Where Maggie is more like a cat, where if she wants your attention, she will come up to you. And if she doesn't, leave her the heck alone. And Willow is one of those dogs that just cannot get enough love and attention. And like she took off on my son when we were in Minnesota, and she ran to the neighboring cabin, and by the time he got there, she's on her back, spread out for tummy rubs and all this stuff. And the people were like, oh, we don't want to give her back. And it's like, oh, you can keep her. No. No, my son wouldn't give her away. But she's just a lovable, adorable dog. Except for when they chase the goats and the chickens. They're just naughty dogs outside. And I told my son this. I said, one dog is one thing. 2 dogs, it's what one doesn't think of, the other one does. They're just like kids. They get into more trouble when there's 2 versus 1, And she's horrible. She's always under your feet. So if I'm in the kitchen, she's right there by the kitchen, on my feet. And she'll sit on you I think I've said this, playing cards. She has to be like on your foot. Like if we're playing cards and she's under the table, just be on your foot or next to your foot, right there, touching you. And she's so naughty. What did she do? I can't remember the first thing she did, and it really ticked me off. She chews everything. She was really good for a while there. She wasn't chewing anything. She wasn't, having accidents in the house because she got overexcited. She's been really good. But then all of a sudden, she's been naughty. Like, she gets under my feet. She tripped me this summer and actually broke my finger. Yeah, try typing with a broken finger. It's still stiff. So now I know what my son feels like when he hurt his finger last year, which is really crazy, right? So it's his thumb and this finger. It's really hard to ride with just 3 fingers. He did it. And so she broke my finger, and I skinned my knee. She's tripped me outside just because she's not there, and then boom, she's there under your feet. I hate it. And she chewed up my notes on my Grandelia tincture notes that I showed you, right? The elixir. I had them on the couch because I was working on the couch with my iPad and my notebook and all that stuff. And I left to go do laundry, and I came back, and she had chewed up half the sheet of paper in just minutes. And I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Well, that wasn't as bad as when I came home and my husband had this box on the bed. But she chewed 3/4 of the box up all over my bed. I was so pissed. Oh, yeah, dogs. Dog days of summer. It's dog days of the year. Drives me nuts. Okay. Today we are doing kombucha. So it's technically Tonya's Witchy Kitchen tea time, and you didn't know it. Woohoo! But yeah, we are doing kombucha, which is made from teas. Usually black tea and green tea. You can do, you can do a combination. You can do one or the other. It doesn't matter. But the interesting was when I was talking to my voodoo doctor about probiotics and prebiotics and all that stuff, he's like, the 2 best ones are kombucha. Yeah, seriously. Hellaciously loaded. And I can't remember what it's called. It is a probiotic basically made from dirt. How they get this by the FDA, I don't know. I don't care. It's a very stellar probiotic. So if you do not have kombucha around and you don't have this great probiotic, prebiotic, I think they're both, it's both. Basically what you can do is dig 10 inches down, unless you have really good topsoil. We have crappy topsoil, so I would have to dig a foot down to get to the really stellar, beautiful dirt that's full of nutrients and minerals, and then you could eat that. I know you think I'm weird. I know you think I'm kidding, but I'm seriously not. Seriously not. When I was a child in elementary school, that was a fact. They used to say that children ate about 10 pounds of dirt in a year. Being outside, the wind blowing, who knows, sticking your fingers in your mouth, up your nose, whatever. You basically ingesting all this dirt, which was good for you. And I would love to know, how much dirt do children eat nowadays? A teaspoon, probably. Some of them are afraid of it. But it's a fact. It's true. I'm sorry. This is why, maybe that's why children are so unhealthy these days and not as tough as, kids previously. I don't know. I think it's how they grow up too. But anyway, enough chit chat. I have been so busy. So we're throwing videos in here wherever they land. And so 3 things: dream big, be true to you. You are worth it, and really try this kombucha out. It's not like the stuff in the store. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not like the stuff in the store. So let's go check out this kombucha video. Okay, to make our scoby, we're going to use green tea. You can use black tea or a mixture of both if you want to. And then we're going to start with a 1/2 cup of sugar with this one because it is a smaller batch, okay? So 1/2 cup sugar and tea. So we're going to put them in our little tea maker strainer thingamabob with the sugar in there. Just because you want the sugar to dissolve, you're going to steep the tea. So we're just doing it 2 in 1 shot. Okay, boiling water. Okay, I know my teapot will say green tea or black tea or whatever. I like the 200 to boiling hot water. We're going to steep it. See, it's all in there. And then we're going to put it in a jar. And that's about 4 cups of tea. Good 4 solid cups of tea. And then we're going to add water to the jar to cool it off. And that's about 3 cups of water to the jar. This is my starter tea. You can actually use plain kombucha if you bought your own. Isn't that just disgusting? And just make sure that your green tea is cool before adding your scoby tea to the jar. It's actually the scoby. So the tea is actually the scoby, but I'm not getting into that. Cover it with a cheesecloth and a rubber band. Put it away like on a counter that doesn't get a lot of sunlight, so keep it out of the sunlight, but don't put it in a moldy cupboard or anything like that. This is how it works a few days at a time, slowly building across. See? So when it's about 1/4 of an inch, then it's done. But this is not tea to drink. Okay, this is building our scoby. This is too acidic. This would be perfect for a scoby hotel, but onto our kombucha. It's very similar to what we just did. So we're going to need tea, green, black, or a blend, which we will steep for 5 to 10 minutes, just depending on your choice. And on the right is my tea, right, that we made with the scoby in it. See? Isn't that cool? So in my big jar, I'm going to add 1.5 cups of sugar. Okay, and then my tea. And you can add the tea hot. It's just so important to not add the scoby till the tea is cool. So I'm going to add approximately 8 to 12 cups of tea. You can dilute it with water. I think I usually add a couple cups of water to help cool it down really quickly. You want to mix it really, really well so the sugar is totally dissolved in your green tea. Once it's totally cool, then I'm going to add my scoby to it that we created. but make sure it's cool. And then I'm going to add 2 cups of the very fuzzy, very acidic, very carbonated tea that we created with our scoby to my black green tea blend. And see, there's my scoby. It doesn't go all the way across. See, it was a different size jar. But once again, I'm going to cover it with a cheesecloth and a rubber band and set it aside. Now the kombucha we're making now isn't going to take 1 to 4 weeks. This, after 5 days, you want to check it. And it's already growing across, and so you can take a spoon and taste it, and if it's where you want it to be, then our next step is second fermentation and flavoring. To the fun part, which is flavoring. I use cinnamon sticks, and we're going to make a sweet tea out of the cinnamon sticks. So about 3 teaspoons sugar, because I'm only going to fill up 3 bottles, and I use 3 to 4 cinnamon sticks. Pour the boiling water over it and steep it. If you're not going to flavor it, but you want more carbonation, add a teaspoon of sugar to each bottle that you pour off and let it set for 3 days. Okay? 3 to 7, but just check it. You don't want the bottles blowing up on you. Okay? So make sure you have clean hands, wash them really well, because we're going to remove the scoby, and we're going to, see, that's my scoby tea. I should have been saying scoby tea and green tea. I'm so sorry. Confused the heck out of you. This is the scoby tea that we made previously, and it's already got some little new baby things forming. If you get a little black on there, it's okay. Okay? Now, if it turns black, like you can't just slide it off, if it turns black, it's dead. But do you see my 2 pieces there? Like the old scoby and the new scoby? The new scoby is the bigger one. The old scoby is the little one. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. So we're going to put them back into the tea. That's going to be a scoby hotel. Simply that. And then I need to pour off 2 cups of my liquid to put back into the scoby hotel to feed it until I'm ready to use it. I do strain my tea. I'm not eating chunks. I'm sorry. What you can do, though, is you can mix it really well first and then strain it. Some people feel you need to mix it. I've never had a problem when I forget to mix it or when I do mix it. So I guess I'm filling the bottles first. I use just any bottle, an Everclear bottle, apple cider vinegar bottle, any type of bottle that I just have laying around. And very fuzzy. Did you notice that? How just carbonated it is? So I just continue to strain it all off. That's basically what I do. Fill my bottles and make sure to put a little bit into the jar to feed the scoby, even though he could live in there with the other stuff. But it's always good to add a fresh, cup or 2 to the jar, because you're going to take a cup or you're going to take 2 cups out the next time you make it. You see what I'm saying? So you kind of want to, keep the process going here. Okay, so here I am finally pouring off 2 cups to go into, I guess I only had 1. What a liar I am. I'm so sorry. Technically, you should try and keep about 2 cups in there. Yeah, go me. But no, 1 cup will work. 1 cup works just fine. But now it's time to clean up. And then our next step, okay? After the tea has cooled, you want it totally cool. Why? Because we don't want to kill the kombucha. I'll never get that right. We don't want to kill the kombucha. And so we sweeten the tea, right? So we want about 1/4 to 1/3 of a cup of the sweetened tea. Sweetened juice, sweetened puree, sweetened herbal concoctions, okay? Whatever you put in there, it's got to be sweetened. You got to add the sugar. It's got to have it. Purees, fruits, they have natural sugar, so it's okay. But if you made like a lemon basil one, like a lemon basil tea, you would need the sugar, okay? You need the sugar in it. So in watching, I guess I'm putting like a half a cup in mine. But so what I'm going to do, one of these is going to go in the fridge, just right off the bat. He's done, okay? The other two are going to be put on the counter, not in the sunlight, just kind of off to the side. I put them in a cookie sheet so that in case they blow up, then hopefully I can contain the mess to that little area. But I'll give them 2 to 3 days to ferment, and then I will put them also in the fridge. And to show you, so this is after 3 to 4 days on the counter. Usually no more than 3, depending. But I want to show you how carbonated it is, how bubbly it is, and it had just that nice touch of cinnamon to it. So there you go. Go make your own kombucha. I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.